If you're nosy like me, boy, do I have the video for you today. A lot of you commented that you liked my evening routine video that I did the other week, so here you go. Here is the other half you asked for. By the end of this video, you'll know all about my morning routine, what I'm up to in the morning and during the day, which is kind of creepy to say when I say it out loud, but I hope it gives you some ideas that you can steal and use in your own routines. Hey there, if we haven't met yet, my name is Ashlyn Carter. I'm a conversion copywriter and launch strategist for creative entrepreneurs. And here I believe very firmly in stewardship of time, talent, treasure, and story. So let's talk about time, starting with your morning routine. I know I share a lot of how-tos over here, but I also want to be an open book. And sometimes I think people imagine I have a little bit of a more polished morning routine than I actually do. So in this video, I want to get vulnerable and I'm going to bring you around during a day and kind of show you what it really looks like. As we get started, whether you love the idea of a morning routine or hate it, just know this: you already have a routine, even if you don't think you do. Yes, even if your routine is scrolling on the phone 30 minutes before you get out of bed. So when I walk you through this, I want you to look at it one of two ways. You can either look at it as you like all the steps, all the pieces, and want to adapt some of those, or you can look at it as more of a menu. It's giving you some options to choose from. Without further ado, here it is, and I stole it from Claire Diaz-Ortiz, who talks about it in her book, Design Your Day. Cued from Claire, I have these 7 letters scribbled at the top of my planner pages every day, just as a reminder to do them. And I would say 8 out of 10 days I do all of them, but I never do them in order, so let's get to the part where I take you through my day.
Good morning. Okay, my voice is nice and raspy, but I just got up. It's 5 o'clock, and I go into the bathroom and splash cold water on my face, and then come downstairs and I either chug a glass of water, and then I'm allowed to get coffee, or I've been trying to get back into this. I did it for years. Half a lemon in a mug of warm water. So I'm gonna do that again. Makes me feel great, and then the coffee pot is for sure on.
After I'm up, I start out actually with reading first. I need to wake up my brain from the fog it's been in, so here we go.
Okay, next step, and I have to be a little bit quiet because my child is asleep over there. But we have a little nook in this upstairs room, and this is my little quiet time routine and chair. The dogs have to be quiet because if they wake him up, I get so mad. But this is like a fake leather ottoman from a million years ago at Target, but it is my quiet time chest. So in here I've got 3 different study Bibles, like all my old journals, some pens, a bunch of books that I've been either working through or wanting to take more notes in, and then there's a candle back there. Because I like to make this like special and light a candle, so I'm gonna read and I'll show you a little bit about that. Okay, I just finished my reading time. I'm still trying to be quiet because he's asleep, but I have only read through the Bible one time, and it was 10 years ago, so that's one thing I'm doing this year. Here's my little schedule, and read that, and then I started reading. I read a chapter in this and half a chapter in this. This is Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington and How to Destroy America in 3 Easy Steps by Ben Shapiro. I love reading at night. I love reading anytime. I love reading at night, but sometimes books that are like I have to process. I'm a very slow reader. I have to read them in the morning, and so that's typically when I read books like that. And I will link below. There's a book called Lit by Tony Reinke. I think that's how you say his name. That was really helpful to help me understand like how to mark up a book well and take good notes. And so I've used that process for years, and it's been great.
I'll pause here too and say I read about 4 to 5 books a month. I know, but 2 things. One, I do at least 1 audiobook a month, and I count that. And secondly, it's taken a lot to turn off the TV and actually try to read 1 book a week. I've found though when I read in the mornings, I'm a little bit more focused, and if I could just read for 20 to even 30 minutes, that helps knock out books like crazy. Next up is E for express. The way that I interpret this on the menu of PRESENT is journaling. This has looked totally different through the years. I love the idea of morning pages. I also like different writing prompts from people like Michael Hyatt and John Lee Dumas. I'll link a few of those for ideas for you in the blog post that accompanies this video. Next up is P for pray. See, I told you I'm not going in order of P-R-E-S-E-N-T. I've done a video before where I talk a little bit more about what my prayer life looks like, but I believe so much in spending time with the Lord every morning in prayer and talking to Him. And it feels counterintuitive sometimes, especially when I'm busy and I have a ton going on, but it's like that Martin Luther quote. He said, "I have so much to do that I shall spend the first 3 hours in prayer." I don't want to make any decision apart from the Lord and His guidance and His wisdom, so I lean on my prayer time and I love it. I've done a video where I talk a little bit more about what that looks like for me, but I will link below Val Marie Paper. Val Warner is the woman behind that business. Her tools have been so helpful for me as I have fallen more and more in love with prayer throughout my lifetime's walk with Jesus. Next up, exercise, which looks very different because at time of recording, we're in quarantine and we have turned into people who exercise at home and love it.
Okay, the boys just left to go to nursery school, so I've got a few extra minutes before I go into the office, and so I'm here in the spare bedroom, literally where furniture goes to just hang out, and I'm gonna do a quick workout. So before I had my son, I loved going to the gym at 6 a.m. I went religiously for years, and then had him and pretty much quit working out altogether except going on walks. So quarantine happened and we totally canceled our gym memberships because we couldn't justify the extra expense and we can't go to the gym. And then about 5 months in, we wanted to start moving again, and I had done a video that had a great launch, and so we bonus ourselves after launches after we hit our goals. So we invested in one of these suckers. I didn't want to like it, but I love it. It's one of those Pelotons, and it's been so great because living in Atlanta, traffic is awful, so it used to take an hour and a half just to go to the gym and take either like a 40-minute class or just like do anything, and so that's hard to justify when you've got a kid and everything, and this has been amazing. So I'm gonna do like a 20-minute workout. I usually only do a 20 or 30-minute one, and that's all, either cycling or I'll do like some weightlifting stuff. So that's what I'm going to do now.
Next up is N for nourish, eating.
Okay, workout done, so time to eat. I ideally, if I could be up to my office at 8:30, that's my favorite, because then it's a little bit quiet before my team gets on and starts working. So I make smoothies a lot or grab power bars. It's probably not like the best option, but I do love breakfast and food in general. So I just have made a quick smoothie. I do that most mornings, and I'm gonna head up.
Let me pause. At this point, everything's been done in the house, not in my office. The next 2 letters that are remaining, I do in my office. But at some point through here, since I'm a mom, there's been a time where I've gotten up and spent time with Tal and enjoyed just mom, son, dad hangout time before we've gotten him ready to go to nursery school.
Thought I'd show you my commute too. I walk out the door, go to my office, and the coworker's already waiting for me.
So back to the menu analogy that I used earlier, this is ebbed and flowed. These I kind of just choose from and get him ready and off to school, and then I'm gonna go over to the office and do the final 2 steps of my morning routine. So S, scheduling, is the next part of the process that I do when I sit down. It's also conveniently part of my work to rest wind up routine, and I'm gonna aim for 90% of my activities to fall into one of my batch days. So let me walk you through a little bit more of what scheduling looks like.
Okay, in the office, so I can get started with this part of the day. S for schedule. No, I've not showered or anything yet. I do, as I was scheduling, I saw I have an interview at 3 o'clock today. So usually I shower and get ready during my lunch break. But I just mapped out the day. I know I've talked about batch days all the time. Today's Tuesday, so predominantly I'm gonna work on client work. That includes myself as a client and clients that my agency has. So I just scrolled everything down, and my planner, my big 3, the big 3 things I need to do under them, and that's it. Here we go.
And that T at the end of present is for tracking, which I sort of do again throughout the day. So I love the analogy so much more that this is a menu to choose from instead of a really rigid list of things you have to do before you're allowed to pass go and collect 200.
Okay, this is more throughout the entire day, but I do track my time just quick and dirty style. On a piece of paper, kind of plot out what I did.
I do not do this year round. I go through spurts. And then what I have found is, so typically 2 things. One, it takes me pretty much twice as long to do anything than I think it does, and writing it makes me realize that. Be like, whoa, I gotta change things up. And then I've gone through periods before where I'm like, I'm working all the time. Man, I'm working so many hours.
And I'm really not. I just think I am. So putting it on paper helps a lot. Totally recommend it. There's great digital tools as well, but I've always just scrawled it on paper. That's what I did when I worked in a marketing agency. And that's what I do today. That's how I get my day set up for success. And then I'll dive into my big 3 for that day, my big tasks first. I love the idea of being a maker in the morning and a manager in the afternoon. So I tend to make my days. So in the morning, I can spend the most time in deep work and creative work. And then in the afternoons, I can do more of the tasks like my email ninja time, checking my Asana, making sure I've done things on my team that people are counting on me to do, that sort of thing. Now you know all about how I work through my day and move into the big projects, but what about how I wrap up the day and go into my evening routine? I've got a next video teed up for you where you can see how I do that. If you liked this video, this little behind the scenes, then click like and click subscribe below to make sure that you don't miss the next video that comes out. And as always, thanks for watching.